The 2023 F1 Azerbaijan Grand Prix marks a return to the action for the sport after a 4-week gap. It's a bit of a strange to have a 4-week break after just 3 races in the season, but it's even weirder to have 5 races in the next 6 weeks. Last season it was Max Verstappen who dominated the race in Baku as he established an early lead in the championship. But what can we expect in Baku? More of the same, or could one of the other teams steering a surprise? Who knows, but let's find out. Let's look at some storylines coming into the weekend. And first of all, it's upgrades. One of the major things to keep an eye on this weekend will be upgrades by various teams. The 4-week break gives teams enough time to go back to the drawing board and realign their parts. However, with it being a sprint weekend and next to no time available for prep, it's going to be tough again to gain an understanding of new upgrades. With multiple teams expected to bring something regardless, it'll be interesting to see the pecking order changes after this race. The sprint format as well will debut this weekend, and on paper it does look like an upgrade with Saturday's free practice session gone and qualifying on the Saturday is a valuable addition. However, there are some detractors who feel Saturday's isolated nature could see Sunday becoming a far more important day of the weekend compared to what we used to have earlier. The first few editions will help to reach a conclusion, with the Azerbaijan Grand Prix being the first race for the new format. The multiple red flags also came into heavy criticism from Melbourne. Not only did it get portrayed as unsporting, it also led to major crashes and unnecessary carnage that could have been avoided. One of the major issues with the FIA, other than genuinely incompetent nature of stewarding, is consistency or lack of it. It will be interesting to see if the FIA stewards will change their approach going forward, because Baku is one place where stoppages are not a surprise at all. Mercedes have been very impressive with the way they have progressed over the first few races of the season. They've had the 4th fastest car in Bahrain, but we've reached Australia. They headed to driver on the front row. Coming into 2023 Azerbaijan Grand Prix, there are changes taking place in the background of the team, and it'll be very interesting to see if Mercedes can continue. But from a possible podium finish in the first race to having nothing in the first few races shows how Ferrari are declining. The first 3 races have been far from smooth for the Italian team, with both Mercedes and Aston Martin making most of opportunities. Ferrari is starting to look bad, and the Azerbaijan Grand Prix will be a race where they need to bounce back from their abysmal start to the season. It's hard to look beyond Max Verstappen at this stage of the weekend though to win the Grand Prix. He's been in a league of his own, and will be hard to see anyone challenging Red Bull this weekend, unless there's another reliability issues like in Jeddah. Verstappen is probably a safe bet. But Haas have shown an impressive ability to do brilliant things in qualifying with Nico Hülkenberg, so they could be a surprise team to watch this season. Obviously not for the win, but just for some solid points. The German drivers seem like a perfect match for the car, and on track, which is important, we can expect Haas to do well this weekend. Alex Albon is also on his way to securing an impressive haul of points in Australia, if not for the crash. At the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, the Williams driver will have the opportunity to utilise his car's ridiculously impressive top speed. Keep an eye on Albon this weekend for potential good points. As for who may struggle this weekend, McLaren is expected to bring some upgrades to the car, but unless those upgrades drastically change it, the car and the team could be in trouble. Straight line efficiency has played McLaren throughout the year, and with impeccable straights in Baku, all it does appear like it may be a weekend to forget for McLaren. And as for a driver, Nick De Vries needs a strong result after being outperformed really quite badly by Tsunoda so far this season. And while De Vries will be hoping for a strong result, Baku is not a track where AlphaTauri is expected to shine. So yeah, it could be another tough weekend for the Dutch driver, but hopefully he turns it around. In the press conferences on Thursday, there's a lot of talk about the sprint. Most drivers seem to be a fan of it. Lewis Hamilton was, Max Verstappen not so much. And yeah, also some interesting news about Fernando Alonso's love life, for example. News at AlphaTauri as well, with Franz Tost leaving the team at the end of the season, being team principal there since 2006, going to be a consultant with Laurent Mekies from Ferrari coming in, which seems an interesting hire. Be interesting to see how that goes. Obviously, the team's gone downhill a bit in the last few years, so we look to bounce back. But moving on into the on-track action, and yeah, with just 60 minutes practice before going into qualifying, it's a chaotic practice session. Lots of incidents. Hamilton, Russell having brake issues. Gasly and Ocon. Gasly's car was on fire. Ocon's had to be stopped because they thought it may go on fire. Then you had Tsunoda spinning, having a puncture, doing some damage to the car on the way in. Magnussen also had an incident. So yeah, lots going on. It was Ferrari who actually got close to the Red Bull. So yeah, maybe they could be in for a good weekend, but Red Bull's still looking strong as you'd expect. And before I go, my predictions for this weekend. I'm not going to do a sprint winner, mainly because I think Verstappen will win it all. But yeah, I'm going to say pole for Verstappen. Probably sprint pole for Verstappen. I think Verstappen will win the sprint as well. That's just kind of where we're at the moment. In second, I'm going to say Perez. I think he'll have a bit too much. And in third, I'm going to say it'll be Lewis Hamilton. I think Mercedes will have another good weekend. And yeah, Hamilton in the races seems to be really strong. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Russell bounces back from the retirement in the last race, and obviously Alonso will be there or thereabouts too. But anyway, guys, that's it for you. Thanks for watching. So like, share, subscribe, no subscribe, comment down below, over daily F1 news and subscribe to my channel. It's going to be greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching. Peace.